So welcome back, guys. In today's video we'll talk about the Accsoon CineView HE and the Accsoon CineView Nano. Roll intro. Anyways, a bit of a backstory. My wife and I do run a podcast on YouTube. It's called the 91 Podcast. I'll leave a link to the podcast in the description so you can check it out. So we had this issue because, you know, kids will always cry and make some noise. I have to watch them far away from where the recording is happening. We do the podcast in our home studio, which also doubles as my YouTube studio where I'm currently recording this episode. I don't get to see when issues happen. I usually will set up the studio, set up the camera, hit the record button, set up the audio recorder, hit the record button, and I'm out of the studio with the kids and just try to keep them busy and quiet while the recording session is going on. The problem we usually have is that sometimes one of the cameras will stop recording. A little bit of the setup is a 3-camera setup, 2 Blackmagics and a GH5, and for the audio I have a Shure MV7X connected to a Zoom H6 recorder, because as you know, Blackmagic cameras don't have autofocus or continuous autofocus systems. I managed to dial in the focus, have my wife and the guest in frame, properly framed well, dial in my focus point, try to make sure that the audio is recording. Sometimes I forget to even press the recording button on the recorder because you know how kids can be. And sometimes the recording would just stop midway. There was a particular time a guest came from a few cities away to be featured on one of the episodes. And because I forgot to hit the record button on the audio recorder, we had to ask that guest to come back the following day. That was a pain. There was a particular day as well that one of the cameras just stopped recording 3 times, and because I don't want to open the door to come in and to make some noise when I'm coming to the studio while the recording is going on, it was just giving us headaches. Sometimes it run smoothly, sometimes it wouldn't, and I was thinking, how do we solve these issues? I reached out to one of my friends called Tony. I also reached out to one of my friends called Ken. I was like, Ken, I have these issues with my podcast. It's difficult to monitor what I'm recording because of the kids and because I have to be away from the studio. How can I solve this issue? So thank you to Ken and thank you to Accsoon. I'll leave links to Accsoon and Ken's channels in the description below so you can go support and give them a subscribe and a like on their videos. So Ken did hook me up with the help of Accsoon with the Accsoon CineView HE and the Accsoon CineView Nano. So this is the Accsoon CineView Nano module. In the box you'd find a hex key, a well-documented manual that's very easy to understand. Also you'd have the gimbal plate that once you take out this part which is the phone holder system, all I have to do is press and slide down and it disconnects, and then mount this to the gimbal. So this fits on a DJI RS2 or a DJI RS3 gimbal, so you can wirelessly monitor what you're recording from the gimbal. I'll put that back in. So I like this system because the phone holder is very, very smooth. All I have to do is pull this up and it locks. I'll mount my iPhone 15 Pro in there, push it in, and it just slides down and holds the phone in place. I can shake this and nothing will happen. So to remove the phone, I'll pull up, it locks in place, and I'll take out my phone, put it away from the frame, and I'll press this and you see how smoothly it goes down. Yeah, so that is the phone holder system. It also features a 1/4 thread mount where you can mount it on anything. On this side of this module, you have a power button for turning on the system. You have a small screen, well, not really a screen, but the indicators for showing you the battery level and if the power is on, and also if you're sending out a video signal. You also have a 5-volt USB-C output, so you can use this to power your phone. So you can have your phone here and connect it via USB-C to your phone to have your phone charging while using the system. On this other side, you have a 5-volt in, so you can power this system using maybe a power bank or a 5-volt supply via USB-C, and a full HDMI in. So you use the full HDMI in to be connecting from your camera into the system, so you can have wireless signals, so you can see what you're shooting. On the back is where you put in a Sony MPF battery. So it uses a Sony MPF battery, which are very common and easy to find. That is where it goes in. If you're powering using the Sony MPF batteries, you can be charging your phone using the 5-volt output USB-C port to charge your phone or device while using it. It feels very, very well made, and it weighs just 72 grams. And if you didn't want to have your phone on, imagine you took out your phone, it will even weigh lighter. That's it. It weighs, see how small it is without this phone holder plate. So the Accsoon CineView Nano wireless transmitter uses 5G for its Wi-Fi. It also allows you to stream onto 4 different mobile devices. So you can have your tablet, you can have your Android, you can have your iOS, Apple iPhones connected to this device. So up to 4, and outputs up to 1080p 60 frames per second, as fast as 60 milliseconds. 60 milliseconds. So that's how good it is. And I tested it on my iPad, on my iPhone, on my wife's iPhone, and there were no issues. Now for the CineView HE, it comes with the transmitter and receiver in the box. Very, very nice packaging. You would have 9 antennas. You have these bodies in the box. It comes with a manual, and you also have these 2 cold shoe mounts, which are threaded at the bottom of the transmitter and receiver. So that's very nice from Accsoon to having these things in the packaging. These devices feel very, very well made. It uses a hard metal casing. I'm telling you, this device can fall 100 times and nothing will happen to it. So the Accsoon CineView HE, it weighs 200 grams with the antenna screwed on, which is more than 2 times the weight of the Nano transmitter. One thing I've got to tell you about the Nano transmitter is that you can also mount something here at the top of the phone clamp. So you can see at the back, you're sliding your Sony MPF battery. You can also power using a 5-volt USB-C. It also has an easy to use knob for changing your frequency. One thing to note is when you change the channel, the system will have to reboot. Another thing I like about it is that this is not easy to just change frequency while filming. If your finger bumps on it, it will not easily change. So you have to press on it to actually change the frequency. And when you change the frequency, just know the system will have to reboot. On the other side of the transmitter, it has 2 full HDMI ports, HDMI in and HDMI out, so you can loop out whatever you are transmitting through the transmitter to maybe your monitor on the camera you are filming with. On the back side is where you have the 1/4-inch port for screen on to mount it wherever you want. I like it because it's small, it's not too big like most video transmitters out there. It can easily fit on the side of your camera, or you can mount it on the side of your tripod depending on your system. It has 4 buttons on the front for easy navigation, 1 power button and 3 other buttons for navigating the device. It's a dual band system, which is a 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz frequency. So that's it for the transmitter. For the receiver, it uses the Sony MPF battery. It has the 4 antennas for receiving signals, and I've also noticed that on the side it's clearly labeled T for transmitter, R for receiving, which is also the same for the front. TX for transmitter, RX for receiving. On this side, you have the HDMI out, so you can connect it to your monitor to watch wirelessly or to a TV. It also has what you call UVC out. So the UVC out, I recently used this on set, where this transforms this system into like a webcam, so you can be streaming to maybe Zoom or on OBS. So your camera is sending this signal into the transmitter, and then the receiver can output to your computer. Maybe you're using OBS or Zoom, so whoever is on the other side, wherever in the world, will see you in real time. So very, very good. I liked the quality of what I was getting from the system when I use it on set. So you can power using Sony MPF batteries, and on this side you have a 5-volt input that uses USB-C. So also remember, if you change the channel, the system will have to reboot. So make sure both the transmitter and the receiver are on the same channel. You can also power this using DC between 7.4 and 16 volts. It also has a 1.3 OLED screen that shows you the frequency, the channel, the kind of signal you're receiving, the battery levels on this screen. Also has the same button layout as the transmitter, power and navigation button. And I must repeat, it's very, very easy to navigate and the buttons feel very solid. The difference between this system and the Nano is that while the Nano outputs up to 500 feet, this goes as long as 1,200 feet. While this connects to 4 different mobile devices only, tablets or phones, Android or iOS devices, this can work with connecting to 4 different receivers. So you can have a system where you pair 1 receiver and 3 other mobile devices to 1 transmitter. You can pair 4 receivers to 1 transmitter. You can pair 2 receivers and 2 mobile devices, including a tablet and a phone, to 1 transmitter at up to 1,200 feet. Another thing I like about this system over this is there are 3 different modes. You have the high quality mode, you have the normal mode, and you have the speed mode. The speed of the system is about 60 milliseconds, same as the Nano. But there's one thing this can do which is faster than the Nano, is that in speed mode, when you have this in speed mode, you can get up to 50 milliseconds, which is 10 milliseconds faster than the Nano system. Now, another thing the CineView HE can do is, when connected to the mobile app, which is the Accsoon C mobile app, you can stream directly to maybe YouTube or whatever platform you usually stream on, and it's flawless. All you have to do is put in the RTMP key and voila, there you go. It works flawlessly. And same thing with the Accsoon Nano. So let's take this thing out in the field and test this. Yeah, so we're outside. We'll test the Nano and then the CineView HE. I have this weird looking rig. Currently using the Nano, so I can see myself. Let me record. So I'm recording straight into my iPhone. I can see my audio levels on the Accsoon app. My setup here is I have my iPhone 15 Pro connected to the Accsoon mobile holder, which is connected to the CineView Nano, and I have my Blackmagic recorder, the 5-inch, connected to the Accsoon CineView HE. The HE is turned off for now, but I'll just take a walk to test the Nano. So let's do that. I think I'm probably like 250 feet. So this is really good. No disconnections. So I have the HE now connected. I'm just gonna walk and see if we can go double or more than this distance I had. So I was right about here where I turned off the Nano. So let's walk further and see if we'll have any disconnects. For now, everything looks fine. Still no disconnect. I like this because it feels very solid. It looks solid. It looks like it will last a lifetime. Well, this is well made, but I feel like maybe you could break something. So if I were to recommend, I'll recommend the HE over the Nano. Although this is really good. This will cost you $130 depending where you're buying it from, if you're buying it brand new. And this goes as high as, I think, $430 or up to $470, depending on where you're buying it from. So does this solve our podcast monitoring problem? Yes, yes, yes. How did we do this? We connected the 3 cameras to an A10 Mini Pro, and then from the output, I actually used the HE. And from the HE, I connected using the transmitter to the HDMI in from the output of the A10 Mini Pro. And then I was with the kids upstairs on the iPad, and all I had to do was connect wirelessly to the transmitter using the iPad. I was able to monitor all 3 cameras on the iPad even with the audio. I was able to connect my Zoom H6 audio recorder to the audio input of the A10 Mini Pro. I was able to listen to hear that my levels were okay. I was able to check that both my wife and the guest were in focus and they didn't move out of frame, they weren't out of focus. And because I can output the display on the screens through HDMI, I was able to see that there was no drop in recordings on all 3 cameras. And when one of them were out of focus, all I had to do was sneak out from the kids, come in, adjust the focus, make my comments. Maybe I felt like any question needed to be asked. I could just all the way a little bit out of the microphone. I could just sneak out, come down and notify them that, oh, you need to do this and do that. So this solved our problem. I would definitely recommend this. Maybe you're on set and you don't want people crammed, maybe the client crammed around you watching what you're doing. You can easily just have this on your DSLR or your cine camera and then have your client or whoever is on set, up to 4 people, monitor your whatever you're shooting. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you learned something for this video. Big shout out to Ken and Accsoon for these amazing products, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.